Hey, it's Matt. Welcome to today's ZipLeads Live. I had some mic issues there, but it looks like you guys can hear me. And I did start the live stream about 7 minutes early, 7 minutes ago. So if you were here and then you had to disappear, well, it closed. That was why. And so today I'm going to talk about, just going to go over something I went over with Sam using ZipLeads, one of our clients, a couple of days ago, with using AI to, I guess, tweak what you guys get with us in terms of like templates for ads, and how it's very easy now to, if you have the right tools, you know how, and you know what questions to ask, to actually have something like ChatGPT, and using the free version of ChatGPT to actually just write your ads for you and test new variations of copy. Having said that, I will, just as a reminder, I guess, if you're running social media ads, and this is in our Facebook ads course, if you haven't already been through it, where I do clarify that really, if there's, there are three elements really to running social media ads. And so that's the offer itself at the beginning of the process. Then you've got the ads that are promoting the offer, and then you've got the conversion process, which is converting the leads that come in, not just to whatever the offer is, but to memberships. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the process is to get someone into an offer and then onto a ideally recurring membership. And so the thing to remember with ads is that oftentimes it's the offer and the conversion process that are like, I have this slide you've probably seen where these really big circles. And then the smaller circle in the middle is your actual ads. So yes, the ads are important, but if you're struggling to grow your business with ads, then sometimes it's not the ads themselves, right? So having said that, I am going to look at the ads today. I guess briefly around that, it's like, okay, what are those big pieces? If you like, as a reminder, it's like, okay, with the offer, and you'll see this in the Facebook ads training there, or the social media ads training there, meta ads, about having a compelling offer for someone to get started with. Ideally, it is a paid offer, we find, because that converts well at the back end, and you do offer a discount at the beginning. And the thing is, when you stack enough value into the beginning of your, like, whatever your Kickstart program or whatever your intro offer program is, then you can offer a discount without actually compromising on your pricing. In other words, that front end offer can still be, if your memberships are $50 a week, $200 a month, then your front end offer can be $200 for the month at 50% off, because they're also getting whatever they're getting. It might be extra accountability. It might be some extra nutritional guidance. It might be, there might actually be an introductory consultation, which, by the way, can be a phone consultation. There might be, you might do body scans in there. You might do a whole bunch of stuff that you already do for brand new people coming into your business, but you're not associating any value to that. And so you're missing out on that, right? So you often don't need to rebuild your business or do anything different to what you're doing. Do what you do, but give that extra attention to someone when it comes in, just to get them on the trajectory to actually get results. It's worth more than the monthly recurring membership. And so when you do that, you can charge up front, and you can still charge your full pricing, but at a 50% discount. I will just mention one other thing, because Sam and I discussed this yesterday as well, is that, and he had thought of this before, and I thought it was a powerful thing to share, is that I've shared this before, but when you think about having recurring memberships and having class passes, it's not just about the convenience of which one makes more sense for the person. Like, I totally get it that in some businesses a class pass makes sense because you need to be able to sell to people who can't come in every week. But the other aspect to consider about memberships versus class passes in terms of consistency of attendance is that if someone has a membership with your business, and they wake up on Saturday morning, maybe they went out Friday night, Saturday is one of their classes they go to, Saturday morning class, and there's some sort of debate going on in their brain about like whether or not I should go. If they're on a membership, in a very real way, if they don't go, they're wasting money, or they've already paid for the class, right? So they're wasting money if they don't go. So there's that little bit of logical nudge to go. If they're on a class pass and they don't go, they're saving money, right? Because, well, I've got 3 passes left. If I don't go, then I save that 10, 15 bucks, whatever it is, and I'll spend it another day instead. So you know what? I'm not going, because that way it'll make sense because I'm trying to save money anyway, and this will help me save money. So there's this polar opposites, really. Like in one sense, you have to go, otherwise you're wasting money. On the other one, don't go because then you'll save money. And so that's just something else I'd like to share with people, because if you, as I said, sometimes there are cases for it, but when you look at it that way, if you have less members but more of them on a recurring membership, you know, the overall revenue of the business can be higher, but also the continuity, the consistency, the sort of the whole vibe of that business, the people actually coming in consistently is higher when you have just recurring memberships. All right, enough said. I want to talk about the topic of today's video. Also, if you have questions, let me know. I will check the Facebook group at the same time. Give me a second. I'll just keep an eye on that. So I know I'm streaming on a few different places, but if you're in the ZipLeads community, you guys get to actually participate in this. And let me jump in there to make sure I can see this. Gosh. There we go. All right, cool. So if you've got any comments, let me know. If you've got any questions, if you are watching live, let me know so I can just see who's here. Otherwise, if you're watching the replay, then feel free to comment and we'll get back to you in the replies again. All right, so where am I streaming? I'm on my homepage as well, my Facebook page, and we're on YouTube. Okay. So this is what I'm going to be sharing today. It's like, well, how do you update these templates, or how do you just get ChatGPT to do the whole thing if you like? All right. So what I'm going to share my screen here so you can see what's going on here. All right. Just make sure we've got everything we need. Yep. Cool. All right. So I'll put up on the screen here. This is the, these are what we boil down to be the 3 best performing ads from what we see people using in terms of the content of the ad. Now, remember, as like I said at the beginning, these ads don't work necessarily just because of the ad. These aren't some magical ad. The offer has to be right. The demographics have to be right. If you're supporting this with organic social media, that's huge. It really helps in the effectiveness of your ads. We even see this for our ads with ZipLeads. Like any business running ads, you've really got to be supporting it with good organic content to connect with the community, really help people so that people understand who you are, so that the ad is more of a trigger point rather than just the one thing in isolation that helps, right? So jumping straight to it, you can see on the screen here that, sorry, so minimize that and that. We've got 3 ads here. One ad here, which is basically 50% off this Mind and Body Kickstart. And it focuses on, you know, we're giving away 10 vouchers. This is time to restart your fitness, the money back guarantee. And this is for you if you want to get these outcomes. There's a bunch of outcomes listed. Text variation number 2 is probably like my least favorite variation, if you like, but we definitely see it work, so it's in here. This one is different because instead of focusing on what the outcomes are specifically, we're focusing on what you get. Now, typically in ads, usually focusing on outcomes is better than focusing on what you're going to get. But again, this ad can work for certain demographics. So that's what this one is. And then we've got our third one, which is all about, again, we flip back to outcomes. It's just a different, slightly variation on the wording. Who this is for, it's 50% off. And this is where you can, you know, drop a dress size, lose a few kilos. This one is more on the aesthetics of what the output is of your service, right? So again, these are just ones that work, but as they are, don't always work for every business. So this is what I went through yesterday, just an example with one of our clients using ZipLeads. We went through and we took these ads and just tweaked them significantly, right? So it was like, you know, do you live here? This is what we're giving away. And again, it was customized. This is a different offer. It's a free week. Okay, as I said, this may not convert as well, or in some businesses it converts great. You have to see, right? So they're actually, this is what they do normally and it works great for them. So they're doing the free week offer. As an aside, if they ran this and they find that it doesn't convert so well, people come in for the week or they don't show up for the week and they're not converting to memberships, they might then switch that to a paid offer, right? But if it works for them, then it works. They put in what the offer is, and then here's the outcomes that you get from it, right? Ad variation number 2, similar, but it was actually who is this for? And it went into specifics of who it's for. People with old injuries, small children, people who are uncomfortable even just thinking about walking into a gym, and people with general aches and pains. Then what we said, we asked ChatGPT to ask the rest of the ad, and this is what ChatGPT wrote, right? So this is what I wanted to show you, is that if you're writing an ad or you're customizing a template, a really useful tool is this ChatGPT here. So I just want to show you what we ran through here, which was, we basically just said, okay, here's the ad that I've written. Please continue the list of who this is for and just finish off this ad for us. And so it elaborated on the bullet points, which I didn't want, so that's fine, I don't use this. And then it had this great finishing tone here about tying this in with mental health, because that's what we wanted. But like, we can't quite figure out how to language this for the mental health benefits that we're getting from outdoor group session training. And so it gave us this nice couple of paragraphs. And in this case, we changed a couple of things. One of the great things is you can do with ChatGPT, and I'll put a test in just here, is you can say, take this article and rewrite it like a grade 3 level of reading. Okay, and you've probably heard that before, that marketing written at a level of like grade 3s is more effective than fancy words, right? So there you go. There's another version. I don't really like this version quite so much. I manually did it in my case, but you can see how it makes sense, right? It's really just dulled it down and made it shorter, right? I didn't even say it was for marketing, and it's made it better for marketing. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you, is you can give ChatGPT something at the end and say, and basically say, look, can you just finish this off? And it will give you that answer, right? Now, the other thing, the second thing I wanted to show you today on the call was, well, what if you just want ChatGPT to write your whole article? And this is what I'm going to be giving you guys, is just some material here, and I'll have more resources on this that you can download and access with prompts for ChatGPT and the side of things that what do you want, what do you need to tell it to get it to write an effective ad? And so I'll zoom this in a bit because I want you guys to be able to read this here. So I said to it, can you write me a Facebook ad that's for my outdoor group fitness training? The offer is this, 50% off this program. It's only for 10 people. It's especially for beginners. They haven't exercised for at least 3 months and they consider themselves beginners. So I'm like typing into ChatGPT, who is my ideal avatar? All right, I'm not writing the ad. I'm just telling it, I'm trying to help these people. They really want to restart their fitness. Feels like they're at 0. The ad should focus on the benefits about having more energy, keeping up with kids, sleeping better, having better mental wellness. These are all the things that I know my client is looking for. And the call to action for the ad should be to tap the Learn More button. And the ad should open by calling out to people who live in the suburb of Newcastle, right? So here, this is applying now some principles of effective advertising overlaid on what I asked it to write. Okay, when you call out the residential area. Also, by the way, this is so important now because I think it's like now 3 or 4 months ago, Meta removed the ability to set audience targeting by people who live in a particular area. And now it can only be people who live in or recently were in a particular area. Now we have the issue of like, well, now I've picked up everybody who's just traveled through this area. People who don't even live in the state are coming up in here. And so calling out residents or people who live in an area is really important, because even though you can't, this is the odd thing. It's sort of like, I don't work at Meta, obviously, so I don't know what's going on. But even though they're probably not allowed to, for whatever reasons, have you identify an audience of where they live now, rather than you can just say people who've been in this area. The algorithm is still optimizing to people, the right people to show the ads to, right? So if you talk about an ad of people who live in the area, through people's behavior and probably tracking of where they are, Meta probably still knows who lives in the area. So when you have an ad that's calling out people who live in an area or who are residents of an area, and they're the people that stop and read the ad, it's going to optimize to those people. Okay, so having that in there is really important. And the Learn More button is just what we find more effective, is just getting people to tap the Learn More. It's a micro commitment. I'm not signing up. I'm not getting an offer. I just want to learn more about it. Now it pops up the lead form. All my details are already in there. Fine, send me the details. And so we get more leads this way, okay? So this is the ad it came back with. And I think it's a good ad, right? So, I mean, it's a good long form ad, and I haven't touched it at all. It's calling out Newcastle residents. It's identifying it as health and vitality. I would be careful with this because it's talking about your health and vitality. So, of course, we know that Meta doesn't necessarily like us calling out personal attributes of like, do you want to do this, or your health, or your fitness? So yeah, okay, so what do I mean? So what I might do is reword that and say, instead of reclaim your health and vitality, I might say, Newcastle residents ready to reclaim health and vitality. And the word your is in there. Again, I'm nitpicking this, but it's just some things that you can find that you might improve it if you're worried about ads not getting approved. So here we go, ready to jumpstart your fitness journey. And then it talks through all the points. If you've been stuck in it, but see, I didn't tell it this. This is like, you've been feeling stuck in a fitness rut? You want to revitalize your well-being. This is all just content it's created. And then on and on it goes. It covers off my benefits. I didn't anticipate this because it actually came up when I did this. It even gave me the emojis because it knows how to write a good meta ad. And yeah, tab to learn more. Only the next 10 people ready to take the next pace. And it's even put in the hashtags if you want them as well. So the other thing is that you can do with variations, and you guys know I do text variations, is that we say, I can just copy this prompt and paste it back in again and see what it says. Okay, so here we go. It's done it again. So now it's much shorter. I think it's also taken that grade 3 writing thing to heart, and it's given me another go. And I can now say, great. I always find myself talking to ChatGPT like it's a person. I don't know, makes it more fun for me. Great, thank you. Can you please give me another 5 variations of this? Okay, and here it's going to bust out 5 more variations of this ad, and you could just pick and choose what you want. You could pick and choose the elements of what you want. You could run all 5 variations because you can literally put text variations into your ads manager now as well. So that's what I want to show you today, is that if you know what to, how to prompt ChatGPT to do a good job, it will do a good job of it, right? So it's a really useful tool, and I wanted to show you how you can use this to augment your ads, or also how you can just get it to write ads from scratch to test out. And again, the caveat to this whole video today is that like you've got to have a compelling offer. And I always recommend having having a decent conversion system on the back end, such as ZipLeads, if you're going to invest money in social media. So in terms of your paid content. And again, really make the effort to support this with organic content. Something I've realized recently, and I've been talking about a bit, is that when you're doing your organic content, like, it doesn't just have to be advertising what you guys do. It's just content that is not necessarily miles away from your lane of expertise, but as long as it's relevant and interesting to your community and your audience, so people in your local area who would benefit, who maybe aren't training right now, who would benefit from training, as long as it's interesting and valid to them. Like, one really basic one is that, a lot of you guys in the fitness space help people in their 30s to 50s with your functional fitness type studios. A lot of these people have kids. And so if you're advertising about things that are like, yes, we have a crèche, or yes, you can train, you can bring your kids, stuff like that, that's all good. But bringing on like people into your content who are parenting experts and like doing interviews with them is really helpful and valuable content for people in your area that would become your clients. Just sharing things. Maybe you're a parent yourself, sharing some things that you find helpful. Things that are interesting to parents, if parents are your category. It doesn't have to be all the time about how to work out if you're a parent. That can just be parenting stuff, right? So your organic stuff to support your ads can definitely be a little bit outside of the lane, as long as it's still relevant to what your audience would find helpful. All right, so that's it for today. If you guys got any questions at all, let me know in the comments and we'll come back to you. And I'd be particularly interested to hear, definitely let me know if you try this out and you run some ChatGPT based ads. Maybe it's an ad that's completely written by ChatGPT and you find that works really, really well. And, feel free to let us know. We'd love to hear some feedback as to how this works. this is certainly something we're testing right now. It seems to work really well, but I'll certainly give you an update as to the effectiveness of this in terms of actual live ads that are running, of which we already have some. So we'll let you know. So I will see you next week, those of you in the community. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you next week.